What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. A lot of people still had some confusion related with leaf propagation as to where exactly should we place them. Should we keep them on a dry soil, dry coco peat, or on a dry surface? Now let me tell you something. Wherever the leaves tend to fall, they will generate pups. For example, I've made a small little setup as an example. Suppose if the leaves have fallen in between of the pots and there is a good amount of indirect bright light, because a lot of times the direct sunlight is going to get obstructed with the pots, so there will be a lot of bright light, and even if the leaves are fallen in between the pots, you will still see them that they are going to generate pups, or they will develop pups. So either ways, wherever you keep the leaves, they will start to put out pups. Now the reason why we tend to move them to a dry surface, or why we tend to keep them in a separate place and not leave them in between the pots like this, the reason is because they might come in contact with moisture, especially when we are watering our pots. And let's say for me it's not much of an issue even if my leaves tend to fall in between of the pots, because I tend to mostly underwater my succulents, as you can see in this video. So by the time I tend to water, most of my leaf propagations have already calloused. But the problem can start, let's say that your succulent happened to drop the leaves and they had not calloused, and probably the same day you went ahead and watered it. Now of course, when we tend to water, we do a deep watering, that is until the water starts passing through the drain hole. So if the leaf has fallen the same day, and let's say it was not calloused and it comes in contact with water, then there is a high chance that your leaf will start to get rotted. You may ask, how is it possible? So here, this is how it tends to look like. So this particular leaf was not calloused and it came in contact with water while I was watering my succulent pots. So probably this particular leaf was not calloused and it came in contact with water. Now because of this, you can see the point wherein the roots or the pups are supposed to develop, that part has turned dark in color. Now the moment it turns dark in color, this means that this leaf will never get propagated in future. It is a complete waste of one leaf. So this is the reason why, even if your leaves have fallen in between the pots, or let's say you have just taken out some leaves for propagation, to be on the safer side, that's wherein you place them on a dry surface. So the entire process of moving them to a dry surface or on dry soil is basically to avoid them getting wet, because once they get wet and they turn dark like that, then there is no possibility of them rooting. So if you want to ensure that you want to get a good amount of success, then always move them on a dry surface or on dry soil. Either ways, they will start to put out pups because the water and nutrients are present in the leaf. We do not need to be worried. You can leave them on the dry surface, you can leave them on dry soil, dry coco peat, whatever you are comfortable with. But the moment they start producing roots is when you start moving them to soil and then start moistening the soil. Rooting is the most important thing. Once you start noticing roots is when you start watering it, because we do not want the roots to dry out. But otherwise, even if the leaf is kept out of the soil for a month or maybe even a month and a half, the leaf will not have any issues, the pup will not have any issues, because right now the pup is completely dependent on that leaf. It's taking the moisture and nutrients from the leaf. But once they develop roots, that is when we have to move them to the soil and start moistening the soil, because now the roots need water or moisture. If the roots are left on the dry surface like this, they will start to dry out. And roots are very important because eventually the mother leaf will dry out, and then the pup has to be completely dependent on those roots. So it's very important that we don't let those roots dry out. Again, the watering depends upon your environment and climate. Somebody had asked me a question, how often should we water the leaf propagation? Whenever the soil media is completely dry, go ahead and do a watering immediately. Do not wait for a very long time. Do not let the soil dry out for a very long time. Like ideally in our adult succulents, we tend to let the soil dry out completely, and then we can wait for some more time because the leaves are large, they have enough water in the leaves. But when it comes to leaf propagation, those pups do not have enough water in the leaves, so we cannot keep the soil dry for a very long time. Once the soil is completely bone dry, Again, it depends upon your environment and climate how long it takes. According to that, you will have to go ahead and water it. This is something that you have to individually check. There is no rule that you have to water it once a week or twice a week or once in 15 days. It all depends upon your environment and climate. Whenever your soil is dry completely, the next day or maybe the day after, you can go ahead and do a complete watering for your leaf propagation. Ensure you are watering only the soil media and not the leaves. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.